Hi everybody, this is Brian Selznick, and I'm really happy to be talking to you, although I'm very sorry that I'm not there with you in person tonight. But I have my MacDowell hoodie, and I did dress up a little bit for the evening, so I just want to say thank you so much for having me and my work being part of this incredible program tonight. As you can see, MacDowell has meant a lot to me. I made my house look like MacDowell. I had a little cabin in the woods called Kirby, which honestly, I hated the first day I saw it. It was really small and it was really dark, and I was like, where's the big giant light-filled cabin? But then I realized that there was a little booklet on the fireplace, and it said basically why I love Kirby, and someone had made a book for everyone to write their memories of being in Kirby, and I opened it and everyone talked about what a magical, special little cabin this was. So I looked around and I took down all the curtains and I moved out all the furniture and I rolled up the carpet, and suddenly I completely fell in love with Kirby. And so much of Kirby and MacDowell fill Wonderstruck. Rose would have nowhere to sit if it wasn't for my chair in Kirby, and she'd have nowhere to work if it wasn't for my desk, and she'd have no window to look out of if it wasn't for my window at Kirby. Her brother Walter is Liam, who I met in the kitchen at MacDowell. And Rose grows up to be Jean Valentine, the poet who I met at MacDowell. So I worked a lot on Wonderstruck and MacDowell, but Hugo I made in my little room by myself upstairs here. So this is my studio where I work, this little desk. I made Hugo basically at a very low point in my life. I didn't know what I was going to do next. I was feeling very frustrated. And so I decided to just make the book that I had always wanted to make. So I'd seen A Trip to the Moon many years ago and thought it might be interesting to tell a story about a boy who meets George Méliès, the maker of A Trip to the Moon. And so this idea sat in the back of my head for many, many years until I read a book called Edison's Eve by Gabby Woods. And that is where I learned that Méliès in real life had a collection of automatons that were destroyed and thrown away at the end of his life. And I immediately imagined a boy climbing through the garbage and finding one of those broken machines. And that was where Hugo began. And so when I was working on this book, I had no idea that anybody would even read it. I was telling someone about the book while I was making it, and they said to me, "You're making a book about French silent movies for children? That sounds like a really bad idea." Children don't watch silent movies, they certainly don't watch French silent movies, and I kind of panicked a little bit, and my editor said that if the reader cares about the main character, they'll care about the things that the main character cares about. What a lot of people don't know is that Hugo is actually named after my favorite toy that I had when I was a kid. My favorite toy was actually this one called Hugo, the Man of 1,000 Faces. And he came with all these different makeup pieces, scars and, eye patches and things like that, and you could do them on your own face as well. And this was my absolute favorite toy when I was a kid, and weirdly my boyfriend now sort of looks like this. So I love the fact that Martin Scorsese's new movie is named after my favorite childhood toy. So now you're going to hear a brief reading from my book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret, and please enjoy the clip that we have from Martin Scorsese's movie adaptation called Hugo.